Welcome to Medical Intuitive Insights. You have come to the self-sustainability environment and self-sustainability boot camp. I am so glad that you actually showed up here. So there's a 2-hour training session. We're going to do it in increments, and I think you'll really appreciate it. And today we are doing soaps. So we're going to do soaps in 2 different ways. By the way, the 10-part training for self-sustainability is 10 parts, 10 separate subject matters regarding self-sustainability. So we can go through that. SOAP is both an acronym for how I developed the self-sustainability bootcamp. Each, like the letter S, is for self. O is for you as an organism in your environment. A is for the atmosphere. And P is for your place. And S is for sustainable systems. So these 5 dimensions create a whole system model of health and environment. Rather than looking at illness in isolation, the SOAP's framework evaluates the interaction between person, their biology, and the environment that we live in. So it definitely works that way. So part 1, foundations of sustainability. Everybody who wants to take my boot camp program, you really need to know what the foundations are. So here it goes. Self-sustainability refers to the ability of an individual to maintain health, resilience, and environmental balance through conscious lifestyles and environmental choices. Unlike traditional healthcare models that focus on treating illness after the fact, after the systems and the sicknesses appear, self-sustainability focuses on prevention, environmental awareness, personal responsibility, and systems thinking. Self-sustainability recognizes that the human body itself is deeply connected to the environment. Factors such as air quality, water purity, food integrity, stress levels, housing materials around you, and chemical exposure, they all influence human health. In essence, the body cannot remain healthy in an unhealthy environment. That's why I'm doing this boot camp. So part 2 here, SOAP's framework. The SOAP's model helps consultants evaluate health risks through a systems lens. S for self. The self represents the individual person and their lifestyle behaviors. Key factors within their lives include nutrition, sleep, stress levels, emotional resilience, physical activity, and personal health history. The self also includes behavioral patterns that influence exposure risks. Example, heating food in plastic containers, you'll end up with many parts per million in your bloodstream. And believe it or not, you cannot get rid of those. They are accumulative. They cause memory loss. They cause all sorts of low-level circulation that can lead to many problems. Another example is consuming highly processed foods. I do believe in just simples as far as foods are concerned. Simple foods, less ingredients, meat or vegetable, very simple. Another area is poor indoor air quality habits. If you're a smoker, go outside, okay? Air out your house from time to time. Actually use air filtration systems with HEPA filters. It really will help, especially since there's plastic in our air. It has been proven through research, not just water and things like that. Another area is lack of movement or sunlight. It's back to what I have always said. If you don't move it, you'll lose it. And you need sunlight to be happy and to help your vitamin D absorption. Self-sustainability begins with awareness of personal habits. So that's the S in the self. Now let's look at the in SOAP. Let's look at the O, organism. The organism represents the biological body and its internal systems. This includes immune system, nervous system, endocrine system, detoxification pathways. microbiome health, and cellular metabolism. So environmental exposures interact directly with these biological systems. For example, endocrine disruptors can affect hormonal balance, plastics. So microplastics may influence gut microbiome health, as well as your endocrine system. Not just microplastics, though. Any chemicals that you're using in your shampoo or hand soaps or anywhere else, and soaps you use to wash your floor with, or any part of your environment, can also interfere with your gut microbiome health. Air pollution contributes to systemic inflammation. That's what we breathe. Our lungs actually uptake what is in the air, not just oxygen. It uptakes the chemicals in the air, those air fresheners, the fake fragrances in your candles. It is also an endocrine disruptor. So much to understand. This is just an overview of what's yet to come in this section. So understanding the organism helps identify how environmental exposure translates into biological effects. Now for the A in soaps, atmosphere. The atmosphere refers to the surrounding air and environmental exposures. This includes air pollution, outside even, particulate matter, little tiny microscopic particles in the air, plastics, the mold, the chemicals from exhaust. I mean, there's so many things out there. There is no place you can go nowadays and have clean air. Mold spores, they're just about everywhere. Volatile organic compounds, also known as VOCs, chemical vapors, electromagnetic fields. Indoor air can often be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, making household environments a critical factor in self-sustainability. This is why I strongly believe in the HEPA filtration systems that you can get portable. Okay, now we go to the next letter in soaps, the P for place. The place represents the physical environment where a person lives and works. Examples include housing materials. They're not always healthy for you, and most of the time, what it was in your home is not healthy at all. Water sources. Where is your water coming from? What type of filtration are you using? How is the city water? Have you had it tested? Have you looked at it? Have you tested it from your faucet? Just a thought. And another example is proximity to industrial zones. You may actually have industrial exhaust in your air outside your front door or back door, even if there's no industrial zones around you. Somehow it just ends up getting there on its own, which they never admit. Food availability. That's a big one in my vocabulary. That's the food deserts. A lot of places, they call them food deserts because there's no food source, no stores nearby to buy food or fresh vegetables. It's a growing problem, especially in some major cities that a lot of people are leaving, or there's a lot of high crime. Food stores have actually left, many of them. Community infrastructure could be another problem. There's a reason why they left. Place influences exposure, though. Building materials, water contamination, pesticide use just outside in your own garden. What are you using? I had somebody tell me they were using a product made with glyphosates, and they says, well, what? There isn't a lake for 20 miles from here. It doesn't matter. It goes into the groundwater. That's where your water comes from. Here where I live, we have a city well. That's groundwater going into the well that comes back in our pipes. Do you think they filter that all out? They don't. They don't have to report it after 5 years of knowing it's there. Just think about that. That's federal law. Urban pollution. The built environment can either support or undermine human health. So sometimes supporting a neighborhood or supporting a city can make people healthier because maybe there's more grocery stores to choose from. But at the same time, there's more pollution, more air pollution, and many other problems that you need to consider. So in the word soap, that wonderful acronym we're using, SOAPs. The last S is for sustainability systems. It refers to the systems that maintain long-term health and environmental balance. These include food systems, water systems, waste systems, energy use, environmental policies, personal sustainability practices. These are just to name a few, but it gives you an idea of what we're going to work on. Sustainability systems determine whether environments remain healthy for future generations, not just right now. We need to look long term. Okay, overview of the 10-part boot camp training models. This, I feel, is a good time to give you an idea. This is a certification course. And this here, let me just touch base on each of the modules so you know more about what you're going to be learning about. Each module in the boot camp addresses a major pillar of self-sustainability. Module 1, Foundations of Self-Sustainability. Topics include environmental health basics, systems thinking, prevention versus treatment, environmental exposure awareness. I mean, you'll learn how health, home, and environment interact with each other. It's important. Module 2 is hidden toxins in the home. This module identifies chemical exposure commonly found in everyday environments. It includes volatile organic compounds, which we mentioned earlier, flame retardants, household cleaners, plastics, and endocrine disruptors. You know, you got to admit too, there's a heck of a lot more than that. Shampoos, conditioners, hand sanitizers. I mean, you can go on and on with it. You learn how to perform basic home exposure assessments. And that's the purpose of this certification program. You'll pass everything, move on, and you'll get your certification so that you can actually become a self-sustainability home expert, environmental expert. Okay? Module 3, or pillar 3, however you want to put it. Clean air and indoor environmental quality. This section focuses specifically on air quality risks. Topics include mold exposure, particulate matter, indoor combustion pollutants, ventilation systems, as well as filtration systems, as I've mentioned before, and things of that nature. You'll learn how air influences the respiratory health, the neurological health, the immune function. Your health in general, it's going to affect. Module 4, clean water and hydration systems. Water quality plays a major role in human health. Topics include heavy metals in water, PFAS contamination, as well as those forever chemicals, filtration technologies, air filtration, water filtration. Oh, and I've got one that is absolutely magnificent and cheap too. So municipal versus private well risks. Students learn practical water purification strategies. By the way, one part that I go into in many of these areas is without a grid, how do you filter your water? What are your options? What can you make? Module 5, clean food systems. Food quality affects metabolic health and toxin exposure. Topics include pesticide residues, ultra-processed foods, soil depletion, microplastics in food, not to mention microplastics in the soil that you grow in, microplastics in the rain, microplastics in your clothing, and in the air you breathe every day. Student learns how to identify nutrient-dense, low-toxicity foods. That means you're going to learn that. And you're going to find out things here that you won't find out elsewhere. Module 6, or should I say pillar 6, biological resilience. This module examines how the body responds to environmental stressors. The topics include immune resilience, inflammation, detoxification pathways. That's with the human body. There's more pathways than you can imagine, at least 5. Get you thinking. And nutritional support. You can learn how to strengthen biological defense systems. So while you're taking in chemicals in your daily life with the air you drink, the water you drink, the air you breathe, you actually can also strengthen your biological defense systems. We go deeply into that too. So you can at least let the customer be aware of things. Okay. Module 7, stress and psychoneuroimmunology. Chronic stress significantly affects health outcomes. Topics include cortisol regulation, immune suppression, neurological fatigue, emotional resilience. You learn the mind-body connection in environmental health. You know, we probably even talk about ancient techniques for the mind-body and environmental health connection. Module 8, emergency preparedness and survival skills. This is my favorite. This module prepares everyone for environmental disruptions, disasters. Topics include water storage, food reserves, medical preparedness. What do you put in your medical bug out bag? What about your bug in bag? Climate-related disruptions is also included. You'll develop the fundamentals of environmental consulting. So if you'd like to be a consultant in that, you would be certified for that. Topics include exposure pathways, hazard identification. Now, you're not going to be a necessary an expert at these things, but it's going to help you in your actual life. When you spot something, I can tell you even how you know where a tornado is forming and how you can tell. So you're going to learn a lot regarding that. Precursors to major earthquakes even. So vulnerability assessments, that's part of what we're going to talk about. Mitigation strategies. What do you do if this module introduces the consultant evaluation process? We include, by the way, we include everything with this program. You'll have a workbook during the program that you can go through with me. And you'll have one-on-one calls after every couple of sessions. You'll have a one-on-one call before the test and after the test. And you'll be introduced to other ideas outside of what is being taught. Want to ask me questions? Ask me questions. I love it. So module 10, building a self-sustainability lifestyle. It's a good discussion. This one teaches you what to discuss even with your clients. The final module focuses on long-term lifestyle implementation. Topics include sustainable food sourcing. And yes, there is such a thing. Non-toxic homes. Is it possible? Possibly. It depends on the home you're in. Environmental decision-making and long-term health planning. You'll develop a personal sustainability action plan for your client as well as yourself. Perhaps your other family members too. Why not, right? Okay. In part 4, we'll discuss the role of self-sustainability as a consultant. Graduates of the boot camp are trained to help individuals evaluate environmental health risks. Now, it's not to say, hey, I'm a certified whatever hazard management or, there's these certifications they have in those type of things. It's not to say that. It's just you would be there to point out these hazardous risks that you see as a consultant. Doesn't mean you'll know everything. And that would be in your contract, which you'll get a copy of a contract you can give to your clients. Consultants may assist clients in areas such as home toxin assessment, air and water quality improvements, lifestyle sustainability planning, environmental exposure reduction. The goal is, like I said, is not to replace healthcare professionals or those emergency disaster management professionals either, but to provide environmental health awareness and preventative guidance. You can even work with realtors. Somebody wants to buy a house, you could do a review for that house for them. Self-sustainability is based on a simple principle. Healthy people require healthy environments. When individuals understand the relationship between body, environment, lifestyle, and community systems, they can make decisions that protect both personal health and planetary health. So here's a few questions for you. What environmental exposures might be influencing your health today? Is it toxic chemicals in the cleaners you're using, or your shampoo or conditioner? Is it toxic air in your environment? Are you living near someplace, or you just have a lot of those forever chemicals in the air? Which area of the SOAPS model do you feel needs the most improvement? I'd love to hear your feedback. And what is one change you could make this week to improve self-sustainability? I'm sure everybody can think of something. So as we end our show today, I just want to say self-sustainability is not a single action. It is a way of living that integrates health, environment, and responsibility. Through knowledge, awareness, and practical action, individuals can protect both their own health and the future health of this planet. There will be a formal certification at the end of the session. After completion of the exam, you can use your workbook for the exam, because you can use your workbook in the field, right? You'd be a certified self-sustainability environmental health consultant. That's a CSS-EHC, in accordance with the educational standards of the Sustainability Management Institute. Yes, you heard right. SMI is working directly with us to do the certification, and we would love to have you join. Until next time, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.